Another painting that we want to use for our exercises is the Starry Night. Before we will start working on our sky, we want to first of all sketch. I want to create the positioning where are the mountains. And notice there's a beautiful diagonal line, because that's what Van Gogh would be doing. He would use lots of diagonal lines. Also, he would use strokes, not very long and very, very skinny. And here, well, you can see there's the movement. You almost feel like it's one line, but the line consists of many short, skinny strokes. So we will have the line of the mountains, and it doesn't matter to me on this stage right now to look even of exact look. I just want to get the positioning approximately. I know that with another cypress tree here, and I will create it by using simply the very sharp triangles from which I can again shape the tree the way more or less will look like in the image. And notice on the bottom, on the lower part of the painting, we have village, and the village is presented here because we can see the church tower. If we want to have it, I just will indicate it for you. The tower is the most important part, and then I will show you how to create those buildings and how to paint them. So I'm just very fast will draw using a rough perspective, I call it, positioning, and then we will follow. Okay, so I will know that this is pretty much the buildings will be over there, and that's what we have for now. The sketch is done. We move to the sky. Sky, we have combination of yellows and blues as dominant colors. There's also a little bit of purple, but the purple will come with now on the color that we will call ultramarine blue, that has already some red in it. I'll just apply it a little bit on the side, and we will definitely need white, because the white will allow us bring some of this lighter strokes inside. I have my modeling paste mixed with some yellow, and I want to make a little bit lighter version of it. That's perfect. But for now, what I'm interested in is to go with a thick layer of blue, just a little bit in some of those sections where I really see that we have blue. Okay. Just not to lose certain shapes. I know that in this section I will have this moon. I can see this big swirl coming there, so I want to keep it as well, and there will be another one following here. Then I have I call them pancakes, and some of those stars will come there and there, and maybe another one here. So my blue is coming. I just apply it a little bit more there where I know that majority of the paint will be blue, and I will work on variety of the blues in it. So that will help me right away. So it's quite a bit. And that's my another pancake, or the star. This definitely has to be a little bit heavier. Just like this. I'm going around. I have to have enough paint to, according to manipulate later with moving some other colors into this blue. I need the white because I want to have the color to be a tone lighter, darker, and also to introduce some other blue colors into it. Like for example, here I have my ultramarine. Notice now the strokes. Now I can afford the movement of those short strokes, very expressive, around those pancakes or the stars. That will look really good this way. So I have a base color, and now I'm developing it. And don't forget that we have to have those short strokes. They are the keys to create this interesting, exciting painting. So I have the white on the side with my ultramarine blue color, and I'm going with the mixture on the top of my first layer of blue, which was the cobalt blue. Now, Right, I also think that we have to apply a little bit different color in it, and we will do cereal. Just a touch. Well, I just want to have more variety before I proceed to the darker colors. I want to still apply a little bit of the tail like this. We can move to the tail now, because tail is a very powerful, intense color. So instead of using black, we can try the effect of those darker lines in the painting by using tail. When we use black, the problem is that when you overdo, the painting can look like covered with muddy spots. And therefore, if we have an alternative, like in this case, this lovely tail, then why not to use it? Now it's time for us to move to yellow. And I get a little bit of this paste inside. That's again my modeling paste. The same I will do right away since I'm here. Then in this part of the sky as well that has this yellowish glow. So I'm applying it by using the battering technique. We can also bring this color up. See, we pick up too much of the blue, so you have to be careful. So maybe just with the tip of our brush, we apply a little bit of this color to there. Maybe there's another one, star. Maybe we'll still come back to them. Just having a little bit of the color would be nice, and a little bit heavier paint application right away. Good. So I'm taking purple now, and you can see I'm mixing it with lots of white, and that will be my next step, because I want to have this color definitely in my sky. So from time to time I have to clean up the brush, because I have a tail on the paper, and this tail is overpowering. So once it's get onto the brush, it right away affects the whole color combination. We have to finish our sky, and for that purpose I think we have to rely now on brushes. Since the paint is dry, we can nicely establish skinnier lines, just using off-white color. That means lots of white and tiny bit of blue. Notice I use a pointed brush now, because it's much easier for me to apply the paint. And it's time to create the moon. With the brush I will create a crescent shape, and then I will outline it, and then again I will come back with a little bit of yellow again to make sure that all those extra lines that I don't like will disappear under another layer of paint. Very good. The next step will be to bring a little bit of the blue onto the yellow, so this everything will look so natural. And then of course again a little bit of white here and there, and we will be done with this section. Good. We need to come back with some yellow onto our stars. Another color that I want to use, it's a little bit of my burnt sienna color that I put on the side, and my buff color. This color works like a complementary color to blue. Remember, blue and orange are complementary colors, helping each other shine. So in this case, our brown color works actually as an orange color. So it adds more vibrancy to the whole painting. Very good. I think we are done with the sky, and you can see it was created by using short, narrow strokes. One of the colors that we can use will be black, but I will be very careful not to use too much of it. It's time to shape our tree. Since it's a cypress, and I will use a little bit of the outline to show that they have like separate branches sticking out. Definitely a little bit wider. Yeah, this is also like a bump of the tree. And then certainly on this side, helping us to make it very flamboyant, I will call it. Make sure that the white spots that were left for the tree are not there anymore. Very good. And then at the same time, since we are here, I will create the lines for the mountains. Yeah, I would mix a little bit blue with the black. I don't want to have a perfectly just black, or I want to have a black but on the bluish side, and that's important because this way the color will be alive. While when we use black, just pure black, what has often happened that the color doesn't have depth in it, and therefore adding another color into it, like blue, green, red, will, I call it, spiced up the painting. Now it's time to work just on our tree. So we applied the green color, and I will go with a little bit more paint right away, so you can see how I move my brush. We can also use palette knife for the wider sections, but I will refrain from it right now. I just want to show you how you can achieve exactly the same effect by using simply the brush. Now I will use a little bit of the purple, and I think purple always works well with the green, so it will spice up the color. I have to move it in different sections. So again, tree is still the tree. We will keep the green color, but we also need to have some other colors to make it visually more interesting to us. While applying those colors, we don't want to keep a flat surface. We want to bring the thickness of the paint through the moving upwards brush strokes. And also the dark brown, which will be our burnt umber, as well as raw umber, and then a slight patch of burnt sienna. And why I want burnt sienna? Because this color will give a warm color into the tree. And again, when it's too strong, you just simply mix it with the paint underneath. Since we are on the tree, then we also have to think about our additional bushes. Then again, this interesting way how he painted them. And just going like this. So it's truly all those shapes overlapping each other like this. And then I will create another layer that will come here. So you can make almost like a tunnel here. I want to bring a little bit of the blue, and with the blue and white, I will see which color will work the best. I want to come, but I think it will be the cerulean color that we have. I will come onto those shapes inside, and I will recreate those strokes just like this, giving some of those colors. And we certainly will have a light yellowish green there as well, and white. Now notice that we'll need a base color underneath of the strokes that will come on top of the mountains. I will apply the color very fast with the brush, and I add a little bit of the purple into it, and that will be a fantastic mixture as a base for my mountains here. And now it's time to go on the top, and I will use cobalt, and with the strokes I will simply bring them up. We have to go now on top of our bushes and bring some of the outlines to give them a little bit more shape. And there is a little bit of purple here. We had already black. I think that will be a good choice. Notice with those bushes, I assume that they are bushes, we have to get them a little bit darker on the bottom. So we still will emphasize a little bit more parts of them by using our darker blue and go on the bottom. But you also can use a tiny bit of black. That's your personal choice. The most important is the strokes, the direction, and the choice of colors, how you will distribute them. So I will go definitely here darker, and I'm keeping this rounded shape. You noticed this green inside of those bushes on the left side is more on the yellow side. It's not so cool, so I certainly can bring some yellow inside, and the color turns into the light, not light, well, it's yellowish green, which I want to have here. I also have to look here in the front, and right away, since I have my yellow, or I can use light green, I'm coming now from the halfway of my bushes to the top. And that's the color will come on the top, like this. So if you choose still have lighter, you can do it, because it's your painting. You just want to recreate the feel of Van Gogh paintings, to bring his energy. I want to go on the left side and finish the color combination. I want to make sure that I'm quite happy. So you see, I'm really playing with thickness of the paint, with swirls, just to give more energy. We approach the houses. The most important for us to understand that this is the village, is the church. And why I think that's a church? Well, because we have a big tower here, and we need to outline it a little bit more before we apply another color inside. And I will insist that that will be our first feature of the entire set of buildings. If you think that you want to use pencil, because I will sketch everything using just the brush and paint, then you are certainly welcome to do it. But I want to show you how easily it will go. I want to make this tower even more pronounced, so I can decide how tall it will be, and I take a liberty and I really push it up. Remember, Van Gogh wasn't going for super perfection, so we are not worried about that. And I just want to have now, in 2-point perspective, more or less, this building that it's overlapping the tower. This one, the window. So I make it darker. Later on, I put some purple or blue into it, but right now it's just the outline. I don't use very heavy outlines. Black is very powerful as a color, so I want to just have skinny as possible lines with not too much paint. So this is the roof. We start with this upside down V, and then we make a parallel line to it, and then again, as we show the roof of the side of the house. What we can help, we can show that is the roof by using the diagonal lines on the top. And this section needs to have door, so I can make rectangular dark shape in it. The most important, I just have to finish the wall. So you see, very simple trick how to do the buildings. Once you have a structure set it up, the rest can be very simplified. So we'll create a roof in the front, like this, and then that's already a house, because the first two houses that we've done, including the church, bring us the idea what it is, because it's repetition of similar shapes, right? If you want, you can apply the window here, you can also bring some windows here, you are just at the edge, we can apply another house. And now we have everything. Good. So we are not worried about the other side. Time to work on the roofs. And the roofs will have the colors similar to the colors that appear in the space over there. So we want to have the green. I also will take a little bit of white, and maybe even of my buff color, and some brown. So a little bit of those lines coming there. Then additionally, I push something on the side. See what is happening to the roof. It's more bluish, so I will leave it. The one next to the church, that's good. And then I want to have a color that will looks more like a gray on the blue side. And then I will go to the tower, fill the space between the black lines. Yellow. And then we show that the windows. I will just use my Liberty, apply it over there, and even a little bit on the roof. See, there's something there, some this one I just leave. Then from there, I have to use a little bit of the brown and just add it to break the color. So for example, on this roof, I want to have more of this color. Just makes it more interesting, exciting, and the same will be in the back. Just making it more interesting. We will use purple. The purple really works well in our painting. Now we need to just think about filling gaps here and there, and we will be done. And our paintings is done. It's not really difficult to work with Van Gogh style. You just have to know a little bit about those tricks, and then you can see how nicely everything can be done. As you can see, it's a bright, beautiful painting with lots of movement in it.